Hey everyone, we are back with another Seeds of Success. Today's show, Feel Their Needs. Dottie, do you want to take a guess at that?
Well, gosh, Orly, fill their needs. That means, deliver what it is that they expect.
Kind of,
I,
yeah. I think that's part of it. I think Feel Their Needs could be anything from, you know, how many times you have someone come back? I'm going to say I haven't because I like to fill their needs first. But how many times you have someone come to the counter? It's like, can I get some napkins? Like you took them their food, but they didn't quite get everything they needed. Fill those needs before they come back and ask you. Give them that.
oh, yeah, yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
if somebody brought you something you weren't expected, would you be like, oh wow, I can't, that's cool. They brought me this. I
exactly.
didn't ask for it, but I'm going to use it. So I think it could be anything from something as simple as maybe even ask them before. You don't have to necessarily you don't have to take a pile of ketchup to their table and drop it on the table because it could go to waste. But maybe when taking that order, hey, do you guys want ketchup with those fries? And they, oh yeah, we'll take some ketchup instead of them having to come up and ask you after. So fill those needs, find out what they need before you actually deliver it. Cause I think that makes a big difference when catering to people in your center.
Yeah, and that also it kind of goes hand in hand with upselling. So if you get your employees in the mindset that you should always be thinking when a customer comes up, like you said, and let's just say you take fries down to them, you should take a couple of packets of ketchup and some napkins and some salt and pepper, because if you were that customer, you would be wanting some of that stuff. And if you deliver it to them without them even asking, they're going to go, wow, that was cool. Now I don't have to get up and go get that, right?
Exactly.
And
Or
it's those little wow moments that make impressions. But the same goes if you get your employees in the habit of that, then it's real easy for you to get them in the habit and for them to understand how to upsell items, right?
yeah,
So if a customer orders a pizza, then you immediately offer them a pitcher of soda to go along with that and things along those lines. But yeah, when you can deliver without the customer even asking on it, that creates that little, I like to call them wow moments, right? They go,
yeah,
oh, wow, that was cool. But you can do a lot of that also just by one of the things that I think is really, really a good best practice is when managers actually go down and visit and walk through their customers, down into the bowling area and visit and say, how are you today? And things like that. Restaurants are really good about doing that. Managers go from table to table and ask how the food is and all that kind of stuff. But as you're doing that, as a manager or a key employee, as you're walking, talking and visiting with your customers in the bowling area and even beyond that bowling area, um, be looking at what's going on. So if you see that little Susie's ball on lane 5 is getting ready to come to a screeching halt, call it in before it ever comes to a halt and have someone go down and get that. That's impressive that you are being observant. You are trying to enhance that experience and trying to be very proactive in making sure that their service is, as pleasurable as possible. Also, I'm going to take this one step further. I'm noted for that, right? But it's amazing what you can, as you're just walking through, listening to people talk and stuff, what you can pick up on. So, and I'm going to give you an example. So, uh, it was a lady and some kiddos that were in the bowling area, and I was walking down visiting with the customers, and I heard that this mom was ready to go, right, but the kids weren't.
okay,
Because we ran Lucky Train every hour, right? And Mom, I think that train's going to go again, and I might be a winner, right? So, long story short, it wasn't quite time for Lucky Train, but I went to the front desk and I asked them to run Lucky Train again right now because I knew this little girl was wanting mom to stay because she wanted to run Lucky Train. So it's little things like that you're able to hear, you're able to see something, and you're able to be proactive instead of reactive. And
yeah.
when you're proactive, that creates that mental moment that the customer goes, wow, that was really cool.
Yeah, and like you said, listening to things. I've had it in the past where you hear a little kid that's like, "I'm hungry, mom. Oh, we'll eat something when we get home," or "We're almost done here." That's an opportunity to take a menu down there. Hey guys, here's a menu just in case you were looking to order anything. That little, I mean, not that you want to put it in the kid's hand, but the parents might be okay. Let's see what they have here for you, and then they might order some food where they originally weren't going to order food. I also do that when I just see, sometimes it's kids or adults just sitting there and they don't have food or drinks. Sometimes I just go down and even offer water. Do you guys want some water or anything? Actually, we'll come up and order some drinks, or can we actually get sodas? So they might not have ordered something, but the fact that you went down there and filled their needs before they were, requested it, that I think that's always a good thing to do. And the same thing you mentioned earlier about making sure they have everything, like when they're eating at a table, because there's nothing worse than that. That customers like looking for you, get that you see them looking around for you, like, oh
Yes.
man, I'm sorry, it was something that you need. Yeah, we just needed like another ketchup, or can we get ketchup or some napkins? We didn't get silverware. So yeah, make sure you're filling those needs. I think it's very important. And yeah, they definitely remember those things. Like, oh, every time we come here, this guy brings us, make sure we have everything. He always comes and asks if we need extra things, or which I also get the side of it could be. For me, it's not a big deal because I like to talk, but sometimes you might have staff that's a little shy and it's hard for them to go up to a table, and even during while they're eating, you never want to bug someone, but there's proper ways to do it. Like, hey, is there anything else you guys need? Or do you need a refill on that drink? Even if it doesn't quite look empty yet, sometimes they say, oh yeah, I'll take some more, because they just, so you're not really going to ever really bug anyone. And if you do, it's okay. You weren't doing it in a bad way. You were just trying to offer. You were trying to fill their needs. So
Right.
definitely, I think it's an important episode here. The stuff that we're talking about, because it makes an impact in your center.
Well, again, Orly, our customers are coming for an experience, right?
Yes.
They're wanting to come to enjoy themselves and to have fun and to socialize. And anything that we can do to enhance that experience, no matter how big or how small that is, it all goes into the overall experience that they have when they come into the center. And sometimes, I call them those wow moments. Um, Sometimes, even doing something like if you just bake cookies to bring out, a sampling of cookies for Elaine or something, that really blows them away. When you do something completely out of the norm, and
Yeah.
you do something like that, that just really blows them away, and they start to talk about that, and that creates very good word of mouth advertising. Or in these days of social media, it's not uncommon for people to immediately go to social media and say, you'll never believe the manager of this bowling center just made my experience so great. And that is priceless
Yeah, that
advertising.
goes a long way for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I think this has been, a very important episode. And a lot of it is stuff that we just don't typically think about. But these little seeds that we keep dropping, this is part of why we do this. Sometimes we just simply don't think about that, and we don't realize the impact that something so minor could matter in the long term for a customer. So that's why these episodes are, some of the topics you may think, goodness, that's common knowledge. Well, it is common knowledge, but sometimes we get so darn busy and we're wearing so many different hats trying to run our bowling center that we forget some of these tiny, tiny little things. So we're wanting to bring those things back top of mind for you. And that's really what we hope to accomplish with our Seeds of Success podcast.
Yeah, and these little things sometimes that we might trigger something off in your something else in your head. You might be like, oh, that reminds me, we should do this. It might trigger something much bigger that's going to have a huge impact for your business. So yeah, we're just trying to give you, we're almost like whispering in your ear kind of people. We're going to give you a little secret here, and you take and do with what you want with it. But yeah, that's why we're here, and we hope that these episodes are helping you out and helping your staff out.
Awesome. Well, listeners, thank you so much for tuning in. Again, share these episodes with your staff. And if you ever have an idea of something that you would like us to cover in a seed, certainly get in touch with us and let us know. But until next time, we appreciate you logging in, and keep things going in your center.